some of you may not know that Uncle Russell was at one time nearly on the road as a professional musician and singer. Back in the mid-30s, Dad and his best friend tried out for the Sons of the Pioneers, but the work wasn't what they thought as being stable, so they didn't go on the road. They didn't accept the position that was offered to them as being on the Sons of the Pioneers. And some of you may or may not know, they're still around. They don't have anybody his age, but they are still around and still tour the United States. I guess probably, I'm real thankful he didn't go on the road, because he wouldn't have married my mom, and I wouldn't be here, and you all wouldn't have an Uncle Russell. I guess probably, at least some of you would. But Dad's career, not only on in the musician side of things, he was also in the acting business. He had signed up and was part of a little theater group in the Eugene area, and on several occasions we, as part of the family, got to go and watch him do what he does best, and that is show off. And one of his memorable performances was involving an 1890s situation where he was one of the good guys, and they had set up the audience as a villain arrangement. When the villain came out on stage, the villain with the mustache looked like Snidely Whiplash, is what he looked like, and the hat. And all of the people in the audience were encouraged when the villain came on stage to throw popcorn at him. Because when you walked in, they gave you a bag of popcorn. So when the villain came on stage, the people threw the popcorn at it and hissed. The entire audience is hissed when the villain was on stage. Well, Dad makes his debut onto the stage, and the spotlight comes onto him, and the black suit that he's wearing in his support role that he was in, it had a button fly, and the fly was open with one button exposed to the spotlight. So everywhere he went, there shined a light. And the crowd is now just becoming laughter and laughter. And there is a scene in this, and as a little kid I can remember it, because he's on stage with the other actors. The villain has taken up a position behind I guess a screen would be the best way to put it, and he's on a chair behind the screen, and the villain would stick his head up, and the crowd, of course, would hiss, and everybody'd hiss, and the villain would go back down, and the actors would do more of their lines, and the shining light would continue, and there was this little kid, we don't know who it was, he put together a popcorn ball that had to be, I don't know how he made it up with the popcorn, but it was about the size of a softball, and he goes running down the aisle, and he takes a position next to the stage, and the villain is about 15 feet away from him, going up and down on the chair, and the villain goes up, the kid throws, hits the villain goes down, the whole thing tips over, the set collapses, the crowd goes crazy, and the biggest laugh of the whole place was the little kid running back up the aisle going, "Hee! Got him! I got him!" Anyway, the acting career ended, and you see what he's developed into now. But anyway.
I asked him who was the little kid, him?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because it seems that when they were living in Arcata, California, they had some friends that were raising pigs, and so they went out there to do poultry, and Lori was wearing her new shoes for school. Hush puppy. Oh, okay. Remember. Well, she climbed a big manure pile. She went up to her knees, and her shoes, crap and all, never went to school.
Brand new shoes that never worn again.
They had to build like a little bridge to get me out because it was just too pressing. And I'm in the middle of this manure pit before it came.
Well, you know, the thing finger, and after many then apparently the ring was successfully landed on there. Well, Mom and Dad didn't think that just turning them loose back at the hotel was such a hot idea, that they'd take them for a small ride. Well, they took them for a ride out to a place called Barton's Farm, and this man, Mr. Barton, had lots of different kinds of rather exotic animals. He had some kangaroos, some ostrich, some deer, and after about a half hour of walking around asking Short and Catherine to look at the ostrich, they figured that was enough. They headed back to town for a bite to eat. Well, when they got done with their bite to eat, they went back to the hotel room, and I don't know if you call them as chaperones or whatever, but my mom and dad helped them to their hotel room and were trying, but unsuccessfully, to get some crackers slipped under the covers of their bed for their honeymoon. Now, Dad was successful in spreading out some salt on the floor in the bathroom, but that was really the extent of where they went from there. But I'll try to read this, and again, this is something that happened. Catherine is a lovely bride. She looks so nice. Her dress is so pretty, and it went so nicely with short suit. So, of course, the best man there was Russell, in more than one way to my way of thinking. He wore his brown suit, and I wore my brown dress with the tan sleeves, the gold trim. The bride and groom furnished me with a lovely corsage, and it looks so well on this dress. The yellow and the rose just matched the gold in the dress. Russ and Short both have white carnation, and Catherine was so lovely with all of her corsages of roses and white gardenias. Then she wore 2 rosebuds in her hair that made her look very regal. I'm sure they will be happy, and we are both very happy for them. Anyway, that was from my mom's memoirs involving Aunt Catherine and Uncle Short when they got married. It must have been one of them.
I have one more. This is gonna really, the people that have young children now are gonna appreciate this. This is another Uncle Russell trick. And he would do this, I understand, flip. And he would put honey on his fingertips and put a feather on one finger. And the poor little boy would go back and forth with his feather because he couldn't get it, he'd take it off with this hand, and it gets stuck on these hands. So then he'd reach with this hand, take it off, and it gets stuck. Uncle Russell said it kept doing back and forth. Ow! Back and forth. You need to look to your oldest generation for all these babysitting tips.
Great babysitting.
It's 3:15.
It's been really a great time being here to talk to you about some old stories and some old things that happened to some of us. I guess probably the hardest part of all is to think back of those who aren't here any longer, not even being able to be here. All of us have got, some excellent memories of loved ones that aren't here. I'd like to just say, if we could, for just a moment, maybe we can lower our eyes and bow our heads and say a small prayer to yourself for all of those that aren't here. And really, I think we should also give a small prayer for all of us that are here. We are a lucky family. We have a lot of people that have traveled a long, long ways to be here. And you know what? If you cut yourself, the blood runs red, and it's all ours. We have each other, and we'll always have each other, and we really should keep that in mind. So we just for a moment anyway. All the efforts that were put together for this gathering. I think this is really great. We all got a chance to be here. And don't forget to get in on the raffle. That's a winner too.
Hey, before you go any further, I got one thing I want to say.
Cake, anniversary cake. Well, you have to wait your turn.
Who's got the floor?
Go ahead again.
Yes, you may go ahead.
I got one thing to say. This son of mine lies a lot. Where did you get it from, Russell?
Yeah.